Hey everybody, welcome back to Real Talk with Cullen. It is my first episode, and you can tell because I'm wearing the same shirt that I wore in my first video. It's summer, and that is the time of year for big superhero blockbuster movies, such as Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Wonder Woman, I'm sure others. Those are all I can think of off the top of my head. So I'm wearing a superhero shirt, and I think I like superheroes as much as the next guy. But that could be not true, because I think people are really into superheroes now, and I'm like sort of into superheroes. Like, I think they're cool. I just like can't keep track. There's just so many movies coming out, and I just can't watch all of them. I'm like a casual fan. I'm like your average pop culture consumer. I've probably taken an Avengers BuzzFeed quiz. I've seen some of the movies in theaters. And because of that, I think I am 100% qualified to sort of do a video on my favorite superheroes and why I like them. Now, for my top 10 favorite superheroes. I am a nerd. What am I doing with my life? Okay. Number 10 is a team. I'm the worst, but they're the Planeteers and Captain Planet from the TV show Captain Planet. They helped stop pollution and littering and animal abuse. They were a great team. They were really diverse. They're from different countries that were like hip in the 90s. They have elemental powers, and I love elemental powers and things. My favorite was Wheeler, because he was a redhead and I was a redheaded child, and he had fire power, and so I think like I favor fire-based characters because of Wheeler. And he was like an idiot and needed things explained to him. But he was my favorite. There's also the blonde girl who had wind power. There's the other girl, the one who had water power. And there's the leader who had earth power. And there's Mati who had heart, which is probably the best power, even though people say it sucks. And he had a monkey sidekick, so that was cool. And he was like the kid, and they would summon Captain Planet together. Though I always liked the kids, the Planeteers, better than Captain Planet. What other superhero is focused on like ecological things? Probably Poison Ivy. She's not a superhero, she's a villain. So the Planeteers, in our world of climate change and pollution, are the heroes we need. Everything from freaking Transformers to My Little Pony to Gem is getting a reboot, and I'm like, where is the Captain Planet reboot? Where is my heavy-handed, environmentalist, fun, action-adventure movie? I want to see it happen. Hollywood, you will remake anything you can get your hands on, even if it doesn't need to be remade. Where's the Planeteers remake? For spot numero 9, I would like to talk about the X-Men. Now, I was super into the X-Men, like Me and the Neighbor Kids, for like a hot minute somewhere in like elementary school. And so I was like all about the X-Men. I can probably remember them more than I think I can, but like I really can't remember a lot about the X-Men. Like I remember that they were mutants and that they were a team, and there's like Professor Xavier, and I've seen some of the movies, but I'm just like kind of behind in my X-Men lore, and I know everyone's favorite X-Man is Wolverine. My favorite X-Man was Cyclops, and that's because usually as a child, if you asked me to pick my favorite character, I would look for the best looking one. 6-year-old me was like, Cyclops is the best looking guy, I want to be like him. That probably says a lot about me. That's unflattering. But that's what I went for, because I thought he was cool. And he had those like laser vision powers, and he was the leader, and he was nice, I think? I don't know. I just like, as a kid I was like, Cyclops is my favorite, and I think I played as him when we played X-Men in the backyard, but I can't remember because I don't know. Number 8 goes to Black Widow, played by Scarlett Johansson in the current Marvel Cinematic Universe, because by law, Scarlett Johansson needs to be in as many movies as possible. I mean, literally, I'm like, every movie seems to have Scarlett Johansson in it. Black Widow is a super underrated character. She still has yet to have her own movie, which is really unfortunate. I remember when I saw the first Avengers, the storyline that interested me the most was Black Widow and Hawkeye, like, because I felt like there was the most emotion in that storyline. She also has been really great in all the Captain America movies, like Winter Soldier, trying to keep Iron Man and Captain America from like killing each other in Civil War, and she was like the only one who was making sense, and I'm like Team Black Widow, because if people just listened to her, there probably wouldn't have been all this drama. Why doesn't she have her own movie? It's ScarJo. She's in everything. Why can't we just make a Black Widow movie? Number 7 is Superman. And the reason I say Superman is mainly just because I dressed up as him multiple times for Halloween. For a couple of years. Just because, like, I have blue tights, and they're for exercise, but usually when I'm running, I just don't wear them even when it's cold. I'll either do pants or just, like, suffer through shorts, or I'll run inside at the gym. So I'm just not super into running leggings, and I had these blue leggings, and I'm like, I should totally be Superman. So I would get, like, a red towel, put on a Superman logo on my blue shirt, and I would be Superman, and it's just a fun costume. So maybe he shouldn't be that high on the list. Number 6, Batman. I loved him in the Lego movie. The Christopher Nolan movies are not really my particular style or interest, but they're good movies, and they're really strong. Batman has one of the most unique and interesting superhero worlds and origin stories. He's probably the most well-known. Like, everyone knows Superman off the top of their head, but I think everyone knows Batman's backstory more. Batman fights some of the best villains, like the Joker and the Riddler and Poison Ivy, and Catwoman's a villain, superhero-ish. I don't know enough about the lore. Number 5, Spider-Man. When Spider-Man 3 came out when I was like 13, I think, it was like the best movie I'd ever seen. I felt like I just thought it was so epic, and I was so invested in Peter Parker and Mary Jane. And ever since then, I just really liked Spider-Man, and I know those older movies they're not that old, but now they're the old movies. We're on our second Spider-Man since then. I know they're corny and dorky, but I just really liked them as a kid, and part of me, like, those are the Spider-Man movies. It's great that we're constantly reinventing him. It's weird that they've reinvented him twice so soon. I feel like there constantly needs to be a Spider-Man movie in production. Like, can they just finish the franchise? Not finish it, but, like, just complete. Tobey Maguire had, like, a full 3 movies, but, like, I think Andrew Garfield just had 2. But now they're bringing Spider-Man into the Avengers world, and I really liked him in Captain America Civil War. I always liked Spider-Man with Mary Jane because redhead representation was really important to me as a kid. And so when they're, like, throwing these other girlfriends at him, I'm like, wait, isn't he supposed to, like, be in love with Mary Jane and marry her? But maybe he doesn't. I just don't understand the comics that much. But I always thought he was with Mary Jane. Number 4, Robin. So this makes me a total dork, but I'm a younger brother, and having an older brother, he usually played Batman, though I will not deny that I once went to the dentist or the optometrist dressed as Batman. But as a younger brother, I got to play as the sidekick, Robin, and so I'm the one person that likes Robin and likes him better than Batman. And I tried to look up his history, and it's super confusing. There's like 5 different Robins, the history of Robin, and that's just a lot. I remember the one that was a trapeze artist. His parents were trapeze artists, and they died in an evil circus accident, and Batman adopted him. And so I'm used to that Batman and Robin team. I always liked Robin. I think Nightwing is like his full-on superhero name. I love saying that I like Robin, because then everyone groans and is like, you're the worst. And I'm like, I am. Robin's the best. Thank you. Number 3, Captain America. He's probably my favorite Avenger. He has a super cool shield, his super cool abilities. I don't know, I've just always liked Captain America. Like, when I'm watching the Avengers as a team, he's the one that I relate to the most. Like, I'd be like, oh, I would try and make that choice. The character has really core defining values and traits. I like that he has a strong sense of integrity, and he stands up for what he believes in. I really like him. I think what happens to him is this sort of Sleeping Beauty, Rip Van Winkle thing, where he wakes up and the people that he loved are gone. And I think that's really tragic, and that must be so hard for him. And so I think he's just such an interesting character. That said, stuff with Bucky sometimes, like when he's like doing everything for Bucky and like is willing to risk everyone else's life and safety over Bucky. I'm like, okay, I know you're best friends, but like he's kind of an evil robot right now. And he was right sort of in the end. But like Iron Man was sort of right too. I can't remember exactly. But he is justified in it, sort of, but sometimes it just gets annoying. I'm like, okay. I know that you have these defining traits and this is like your tragic hero fatal flaw, but like, can we step back for a second and just look at the scenario, because don't ruin the world over this one guy. But yeah, and I sort of agreed with him and sort of his principles when they were talking about where to go with the Avengers, even though they all had good points. Number 2 is the Guardians of the Galaxy. They're a team, I know, but I love them all. I think they're a stronger superhero team than the Avengers, because the Avengers is more of a group of individuals, and the Guardians of the Galaxy they're a group of very different individuals, but they were designed as a team, and they sort of hover the line between sort of being like rogues and heroes. They're kind of like Robin Hoods of the galaxy. I love Chris Pratt in Parks and Recreation, so it was fun to see him become this like cool new action hero. I love Groot. He's so adorable in the new movie, and he was so great in the first one. He's sort of the heart of the team. Gamora is a really interesting character, and they aren't afraid to give her screen time and development, and she's a great sort of action hero. Drax is loud. He's the one I like the least, but he's still funny. He adds for comic relief. I love Rocket the Raccoon. He's just funny, and all the characters are so random. It's just like someone fished them out of a hat and was like, this will be a team of superheroes. But I'm invested in their adventures, and I'm upset that we have to wait for Avengers 3 and 4 for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Their retro vibe, I love the soundtrack, and I think that makes them, as films, the most like aesthetically different from the other Marvel films. And I think they're the funniest. Star-Lord, Peter Quill makes me crack up, and all those characters make me smile, make me laugh, make me feel for them. They have the most emotions, and I like comedy, so I like that they're a funny group of superheroes. Number 1, Supergirl. I started watching the show for class, and it is such a good show. I'm so invested in the characters. Even when it's not that good of a show, I still care. I think Melissa Benoist does a great performance as Supergirl. I love that she has heart, and she's kind and caring and compassionate. She has a strong sense of integrity. She works with her friends as a team, but she's also very protective of her friends. She just always does the right thing in a very warm, people-oriented way. She cares about people. I love her relationship with her sister. I'm close with my sister, so I relate to that. I love all the characters on the show. I love like Wynn and Manel are all so funny. And I'm a Jeremy Jordan fan from like Newsies, was like my jam like late high school. So I love seeing him as Wynn in Supergirl. I think she's so funny and sweet, and like she's bad at being sneaky. And I just relate to her on a very personal level. I feel like if I was a superhero, I would at least want to be, or aspire to be, kind of like Supergirl. The mistakes she makes, even when you know they're obvious mistakes, are things that I could see myself doing. She uses her emotions as something to help support her, not just to be like repressed and pushed away. And she just has a really big heart, and so even though she has all these crazy, awesome superpowers, I think her best power is her heart. And she's like a powerful female superhero figure, and it proves that she can sustain her own show. She doesn't just have to be someone else's sidekick, and I think she's more interesting than Superman. I would love to see a Supergirl movie, because the only one that exists is kind of lame and weird, and I think the show portrays her as not just like a sexual object, like a sexy superhero or like a ditz, but they make her a young, confident, new superhero, and we're learning about her powers, and she's trying to lead a life as Cara Danvers, the journalist, and as Supergirl. I just like her character, I care about her journey, I care about what happens to her. That's why I think Supergirl is my new favorite superhero. Like if I had to meet a superhero, I'd want to meet Supergirl. Please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video if you do like it. And please comment, let me know who your favorite superheroes are. Thanks for listening, have a great day. I upload videos every Tuesday, so see you next Tuesday.